New business. Hey, Jeff. We have Pat Taylor, mayor for the town of Highlands, with us this afternoon. And then Justin's going to speak for the town of Franklin. Is that right? Just,
Yeah, I've got a little bit more stuff.
okay. Pat has to go back to Highlands for a council meeting up there. So we'll go ahead and let him start off.
Okay, thank you. And I appreciate the opportunity to come and speak to the planning board. I understand what you do because I served on the Highlands Planning Board 6 years. So I appreciate what you do in the county. And before I make my remarks, I want to say that, Highlands has always had a good, close working relationship with the county because we are a part of Macon County. We've worked closely with the Macon County Commission, the Sheriff's Department, the Board of Education, and we look forward to continuing those good working relationships. But I wanted today to just present to you some of the ideas about Highlands, give you kind of an overview of what we're doing in Highlands and some of our infrastructure needs, especially in the area of utilities, water, and sewer, and so forth. So let me just go ahead and go over a kind of an overview. I like to say that Highlands is a tale of two cities. And here's what I mean by that. We have a kind of a notion that we're kind of a little small Mayberry mountain town of 980 people. And at certain times of the year, that is exactly right. We are small, we're about 980 people. Also, you have that perception, we have a lot of well-to-do people up there that take care of all of our needs. That's our seasonal residents. But then there's another type of Highlands, and it's about to occur in the next month or so. And that's going to be a town of possibly 10,000 people. So that presents a real challenge for the town. We have to deliver full services to our permanent residents, which isn't that big of a problem. But also we have to anticipate our seasonal residents who come up for many months in the year. We also have to be ready for our visitors and tourists that come to the town. So there's two cities, and I want to talk more about the larger city and just give you an overview of Highlands government. First of all, we have over 70 town employees. I kind of get criticism a lot of times as the mayor, the new mayor says, you got too many people in this town. You got too many police. And I say, I guess if we were just dealing with 900 people, you could maybe make that case. But then there are times when we have, thousands of people in town, and they expect us to provide, a full range of services, and 70 employees sometimes is just about the right number that we need. We have 11 members in our police department. They have to patrol the largest municipal area in city limits in about 4 counties in Western Carolina. Highlands has the largest geographical city limits area, and they patrol that. We have a water plant that provides water for our citizens. During January, we're producing several 100,000 gallons each day. During the summer, we have to up that to 1,500,000 gallons a day. We have a sewer system. And again, part of the year, it's not working at its optimal capacity, but in the summer months, starting around Memorial Day, it too has to be able to produce or process about 1,500,000 gallons of sewage a day. And by the way, I'll say this. Some people worry that when we discharge our water, where does it go? It goes into the river, but case can be made by the time we have treated that water and gone through all the processes, it supports trout. It's as clean as the Lake Sequoia water. So we have the sewer plant. We also run one of the oldest electric utilities in Western Carolina, if not the oldest. We have our own utility system. We buy power from Duke Power. We went out of the hydroelectric business many years ago, and now we are kind of captive to the rates and everything like everyone that Duke Power has. We have Of course, our local garbage pickup and sanitation department. And then we have a total of about 3,000 or more utility accounts that our town, processes. We have in Highlands a unified development ordinance. We have zoning, parking and sign ordinance, one of which the parking ordinance we'll be looking at tonight. Like any dynamic community in North Carolina, we have ordinances that regulate development. We're fortunate to have a hospital, the Cashiers Highlands Hospital, for our residents. And one of the things about Highlands is that it's a tourist destination and a venue for second home residents. And our full service approach is a critical factor to the success of our major industry. And that industry is hospitality and tourism. People like our resort town because of its beauty, quality of life, variety of businesses, the arts, civic groups, and then our town services that I made reference to. Now, the question could be, well, what does Highlands contribute to the economic development of the county? And it depends on how you measure economic development. If you're looking at manufacturing and jobs created by assembling parts and things, we don't contribute a lot. That's not who we are. But if you're talking about economic development in other ways, we contribute a whole lot to Macon County. I believe that economic development centers around generating money and revenue. And Highlands generates a lot of money and even jobs for this county. As the mayor of Highlands, I'm a member of the Southwestern Regional Planning Commission, newly appointed. And the commission has identified 3 legs of a stool of economic development. And one is technology development. And actually, we're looking at trying to improve IT companies and software companies if we had that. Another is transportation, which is critical to this region, and we're always, trying to improve that. But then a third part of that economic stool of development would be, and probably the most important would be tourism. For this whole region, and Western Carolina, it's one of the most visited areas in the United States. I think Jimmy and I were in a meeting today, and they were saying it's the 4th most frequently visited place in the United States. So that's really our strategic advantage, and that is our tourism and our visitor and hospitality industry. Now, our full-time residents and our second home residents have invested in very extensive real estate in Highlands and the plateau area, not just in the Highlands city limits, but all around there. Some may disagree with me, but it's about 40 to 50% of the property tax value in Macon County. The same can be said for generating sales tax and then the room occupancy tax. So we're really one of the economic engines of Macon County. And with that said, we have ongoing infrastructure needs for our residents to provide those essential services that make them want to come and invest and stay in Highlands. And then also those services have to be provided for our growing hospitality industry. Just one of these businesses, for example, Old Edwards Inn. Right now they employ over 300 people in their operations in Highlands. That is an industry for us. It's a valuable industry, and that's just one. We probably estimate that there are over 1,000 people in the Highlands Plateau area that are involved in some way in the hospitality industry. And that's not even to say about things like home maintenance, construction, and things like that. What I want to make the point is that Highlands should be given full consideration for any county financial support for economic development. As I've said, the town and the area infrastructure has needs, and these needs, if we meet these needs, it assures that we have a strong stream of tax money that doesn't just stay in Highlands, but it goes throughout the whole county. So the primary beneficiary of this tax base is Macon County. And I want to kind of remind people this, because sometimes coming from Highlands, it kind of gets away. Some people think that if you live in Highlands, then you're in Highlands. But I say, I'm from Macon County too, and here's the way I illustrate that. My wife and I have a 1,700 square foot house in Highlands. It is not a new house. It is an old house that used to be a resort house that would be closed down during the winter. Well, we refurbished it and made it a year-round house. It's on only a little over a half acre, and it has been assessed at over $500,000. Now, what does that translate into? That means that I'm paying about $750 in town taxes, which I gladly pay, and then I pay over $1,600 in county taxes, which I gladly pay too. But I just want to make the point that we're part of the county and we pay taxes, and we just like to be included in the decision. So I know that you have a handout of some of our needs that are upcoming. And in fact, as the mayor, I'm going to have to be dealing with this with our new budget cycle very, very soon. So let me go over some of these. First of all, we're really concerned about our water intake. The last few years, the rain has been very good, and we've been able to provide our meet our water needs very easily. With continuous development and so forth, we have had problems with erosion and runoff, stormwater runoff, which has kind of put pressure on some of our water intake areas. We recently got a grant from the EPA to relocate one of our water intakes in Lake Sequoia, which will help for the short term solve that problem. It was a over $2 million grant. They required that we put up about $450,000, and what that becomes is just, instead of a loan, they just gave us the money, but we had to invest in it. The other thing we're going to have to do is refurbish our dam at Lake Sequoia. That was built 80 years ago. It has never really been refurbished. There's some current concerns that we need to address in the improvement of that dam, which means that when we do the water intake and the dam refurbishment, we'll have to drain Lake Sequoia and do these critical improvements. Last thing we want to do is to have a failure of that dam. Then the other thing that we're facing is with our water plant, is this, it's on the list, the chlorine gas treatment replacement. Right now we use chlorine gas cylinders. The Homeland Security, the state, the feds, everybody's concerned about those cylinders, bringing them up the mountain and storing them. And in fact, we've had a small leak before. So we're facing a $650,000 outlay to convert to an on-site process where we generate bleach instead of chlorine gas to treat our water. Other thing we have is in the split rail area, a water line replacement for $650,000. We are going to have to do wastewater treatment plant holding tank refurbishments. That's another $124,000. And then the other one I wanted to point out was on Highway 28, North Carolina Highway 28. We have a water line upgrade replacement. That's going to be almost $700,000, $690,000. And here's the point I want to make. All of this totals up to, $4.6 million. But here's something that we would like fair consideration about. And that is on that Highway 28 water line. Part of that line branches off, and it serves some neighborhoods that are outside Highlands. Some of the neighborhoods extend well into the county. Years ago, in the 70s and 80s, when they were putting in the water lines, they used galvanized pipe, small galvanized pipe. And these folks said, well, can we hook up to the Highlands water system? We said yes. Right now, some of these lines are beginning to corrode and shut down, and it's an impending problem. Some of the neighborhoods could be in really desperate situation. What we would like to have happen is to form a partnership with the county to where there were water lines outside the town that the county would be willing to help by installing those or replacing them, and then we will do our part to get the water up to those points. And on Highway 28, while you could also serve neighborhoods, we could extend fire hydrants to places out in the county and so forth. So the point I'm trying to make is that we could form a partnership working with the county and supply not only the needs of the people living in Highlands, but some people that are just outside who are county residents who need, water and support too. Now I bring this up, and I know my good friend is here from Franklin, but I know this has been done for Franklin before. And we're just trying to make the point, we'd like some consideration on this too, because we're constantly having to, invest in our infrastructure, and any help that the county could provide would really be valuable. And it also would be a win-win for everyone, because we are, again, one of the main drivers of tourism in Macon County. And if we are able to supply those needs and keep that industry going, it translates into more tax revenue for the entire county. So that is our one of our main concerns, is that if we could get some county support in these economic development areas, it would be greatly appreciated, and it's needed. We're also investing in trying to promote the use of technology. We have a cell tower in Highlands. We have 2. We're in discussions with one of the providers about improving the cell tower that's on one of our mountains. And when that is done, it will provide more coverage, not just for the people in Highlands. You can't block the signal. It just goes everywhere. So all the county residents will enjoy an improved benefit too. So here again, I just want to say, we look forward to being partners and working cooperatively with folks in the county. We are Macon Countyans, and any kind of consideration that...
Okay. Any questions?
We're not in control of the timing, but they're Verizon, to be quite frank. They're looking at that and doing the engineering, so, and it should really give for that plateau area complete coverage.
Mr. Taylor, who originally paid for that water line to be installed at Queen Mountain?
A developer.
A developer?
Yeah. And that's the problem. Back then, developers would run lines, and I can't take the responsibility since I've only been there for 5 months. But a lot of times we'd hook things up and supply them, but the county didn't do it. It was just the developer. But then you have the people there now who are looking for the water supply.
Okay. One more question is, are there meters on that water line that's going to Queen Mountain? Do we have any idea in Highlands how much water actually is being...
We could get that for you because they are metered, yes, because they pay a bill. So I'm sure that could be done. If you had that line, not only could it be Queen Mountain, but other services could be potentially provided too.
Is the water and sewer department in Highlands profitable?
Good question. Here's our situation. They're at kind of a break-even operation, and their rates have been fairly steady. What is happening right now is, with some of our citizens, we have been having to charge more for our electric utility. And to be quite frank, we have a strong reserve in the electric utility area. Yeah. And what we do is, the water and sewer needs equipment or support, we'll move money over there to kind of stabilize their operation too. So it's kind of a utility thing. And some people, and we're looking at this, criticize that we're carrying too much of a reserve. My counter to that is, when I was not in town at the time when we had the big storm this winter, and they were saying it might be an ice storm. If that storm had hit Highlands, it could have really done hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of damage. So we'd have to devote money toward getting things back up.
Don't start spending money. Y'all are doing okay. It's okay. Reserves are good though.
They are.
And then one more question. the people at Queen Mountain, are they only paying for the water?
They pay a double rate.
They pay double rate.
Anybody that's outside the town, they pay a double rate for the water.
That would be similar to Franklin.
Yes, yeah.
Pat, if you had to prioritize based upon your list there. My understanding, I would think the water intake would probably be number one.
We've got that covered, actually. The 28 line,
Be your number one focus.
yes. And, you know, then the work on the water plant with that chlorinization, moving away from the chlorine gas, that's going to be another important thing. Although we are having to pay for the, let me go back, we are having to pay $500,000 to refurbish the dam. And like I say, that dam hasn't really had any work on it since 1928, and we've discovered the little plug at the bottom. What is holding it, back when they built it, somebody put a piece of a road sign and some locust post, but the rest of it's kind of
It ain't broke, don't fix it.
concrete. But we're hoping it's
They went to do that.
Well, there's a dam broke down, fell fall down.
It's gonna be so hard.
Well, and we have a dam
Drilling,
like
but
Lake
it's so
Brandon
hard.
that's not in Highlands. And
Get
we're
them
very
green
concerned
to make
that
it
would
easier.
fail, still flying down. It would really impact our,
Remember the force out of water?
that's one of the reasons why we're doing the third impact.
Pat, did you provide this?
So,
Oh, Jim did. Okay. Sorry, I skipped over the liaison comments because I was trying to get Pat back at Highlands. Any other
Everybody
questions?
can comment?
I'm ready whenever y'all are done.
Okay. Good deal. Thank you for coming, Pat. We really
Yes,
appreciate
sir.
it.
Thanks, Pat.
Thank you.
Do we have another one of his handouts now?